It's the Fatboy Show on your number one station, RX Radio. Hey, how you doing? My name is Fatboy, and I hope you're having as beautiful a morning as we are here, enjoying all this cool music and, of course, having these amazing conversations. And what I find really cool is that now you can enjoy RX Radio both on the air on the RX Radio live stream, which you can listen to from the RX Radio website or the app. And now also we're available on YouTube. And you might be watching this on our YouTube channel. Our handle there is at RX Radio, so please subscribe. You can share the links to the various segments that we post there that you can watch. Also, we are on TikTok, so please feel free to check us out there as well. Well, I am here hanging out with Olive, which leads me to a very interesting question. Okay. Much as I enjoy hanging out with you,
yeah,
and I'm sure you like hanging out with me.
Don't kid yourself.
If you could hang out with anyone in the world, real or fictional, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. Anyone in the world, real or fictional? That should be easy. I would...
Jesus Christ?
No, not Jesus, in as much as I would love to. But I would hang out with someone, and that would be Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah Winfrey.
Why Oprah Winfrey?
I mean, I feel like it is self-explanatory. She's a woman. She's a black woman. She, broke through the glass ceiling, achieved so much in her lifetime. I would like to hang out with Oprah and get some pearls from her. By pearls, I mean knowledge and, everything.
Obviously, I mean, she has a very interesting life story. She grew up very poor and started small in different TV stations, then launched her own program. And then sort of became more of an independent content producer, which perhaps at the time was fairly new. She had her own studio and would just market her TV show to different stations and syndications around the country, and that's what led her to be the big name she became, and ultimately the richest black woman.
Exactly. And of course, if you followed her story, she keeps saying that many in the beginning, when it was proposed to her, when she proposed it, some people said that she was crazy, as in, how do you do that? Because at the time it's like no one was doing it, especially a black person. But then here we are. I mean, in 2008 she endorsed a president.
And he won.
Well,
then she endorsed Hillary too.
Well, what are you saying? At least one person won, and that counts.
So what does it say for those who are fans of Oprah Winfrey, the fact that she never got married? Is that something that speaks to you? Do you also feel like that might be the path for every successful woman to be?
But you see, Oprah didn't get married, but she has been in a long-term relationship with the same man for years. So to me, what's missing is the ring, but they are living as man and wife.
Actually, they've been together over 30 years.
Yes. So Oprah cannot be compared to women that decided not to have a man in their lives.
So what's their secret? Because I would guess that she's richer than him.
Yes, she is. And this is the thing. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine regarding the conversation we had about marriage the other day. And we were sharing thoughts on marriage. And of course, my belief and my argument, like I have it with you here. And then he was like, this is the thing about marriage today. Ideally, a man... or the breadwinner, actually he didn't say man, he said the breadwinner is the head of the family. The breadwinner, calls the shots. So you may be the man, but if your wife is richer, she's gonna call the shots. And in as much as it is unnatural to you, you're gonna have to submit because she's bringing in the money.
Well,
so you cannot be 100% leader when she is 100% or 90% providing.
So I just don't understand how it works. And perhaps in future she might write a book on that relationship alone. Just that relationship. How is it that they make it work? What is their dynamic? Because for me personally, I'd feel very uncomfortable in a situation where the woman was that excessively wealthy. And, I know you think of me as someone that just seems to just want to dominate and control women. But it's more a case of if I can't add value or leadership in her life because she already offers it to herself, I feel like I don't need to be with a woman like that. So I'm more interested in being with women who value and would desire a man whose leadership they can follow.
So what if you have, maybe you even start out with a woman that is not as successful as you are, but as, she works and climbs the corporate ladder, she eventually becomes more successful than you are. What are you going to do about that?
Well, if that would happen, I think I would initiate the countdown. The countdown to the eventual separation. I would not
Why?
see the relationship lasting.
But Oprah's has lasted for over 30
That's
years.
the thing. So what's the mystery? I want to know. Because let's
Submission
face
from the
it.
side of the guy.
Because the fact of the matter is, and her case is interesting because it's the exception. When you look at most of the data, divorce rates are correlated with the increase in the female income. Like if within a marriage, a couple, and the woman starts to out earn the man, typically it leads to divorce.
So
this is generally speaking.
Yes, you're right. But do you think that it leads to a divorce because the woman has become unmanageable, or it is because the man wants to still, be leader? He wants to assert his power over the woman even when he doesn't need to.
That's why I'm saying it's a mystery. I want to know.
I feel like if your wife is earning more than you are and she's still good to you, she's still respecting you and everything, why don't you just play cool, accept that she has more money, and you live happily
So
together?
it's not about me accepting if she has more money. It's about her accepting that though she has a lot more money, can she still respect me?
So, and my question was, what if she still respects you?
It's hard
and
for a
the
woman to.
relationship.
Haven't you heard
would you
this?
still count down to the eventual end?
Haven't you heard the joke that when a woman gives her man money, the whole village will hear about it?
By the way, there is that joke, but the actual truth is that many women give their men money and no one gets to know about it.
Oh, really?
That's true.
Is that true?
That's true. Actually, there are many marriages where women are contributing like 70% into the marriage. Like you can have a friend and you know that he's financially struggling, right? But that friend may sometimes show you that in as much as he's struggling and his wife has money, he's still doing everything. But when in actual sense she is, and sometimes she doesn't even have more money. Sometimes he is struggling, she's struggling, but their money put together leads to something. Here's the thing. As a man, you cannot expect to be a leader 100% when you are actually not providing 100%. If you're providing 100% and that woman doesn't respect you, then you have a right to divorce her.
So then why do you criticize us who say, so therefore we steer clear of the career women and the boss ladies? And, in arguments I've had before, and I think I said this in one of the live streams I did on Facebook, I said, it's not that I fear or I'm intimidated by intelligent, successful women. Actually, those are the ones I like to employ. And that's right. So I would want to collaborate with them, to work with them, to employ them. But in my house, I'm not looking for high achievers. I feel like that's not a necessity.
I understand why your followers.
If you are a woman, if you are a woman and you're a high achiever, don't write me a love letter. Write me a job application. I'll employ you.
So are you trying to tell us that all the women you've been dating are not high achievers, or the reason you're not with them is because they eventually became high achievers?
Just so that we can understand the differences. Because what does dating mean? Dating could mean casual, and I think when I speak about my preferences, I mean more for long-term things.
Okay.
Because if it's casual, I'm less discriminating. Like, it doesn't really matter.
But would you blame a person who comes out and says, you know what, I think it's because you're a coward? Because why would you not even give it a chance with a career woman? Why would you preempt that she's going to be a problem for you?
Because even in just dating, they become a problem anyway. So it never even leads to the point where I might contemplate getting married to them, because already things have fallen apart.
But is there a time when you say that you became the problem? That your demands were a problem?
Perhaps my problem was in my consistency. Like I said, is there a woman alive today who knows who I am, who doesn't know what my views are? And if in so doing you still decide, okay, well, hey, I still want to hang out with him or date him or whatever, you would have to do that understanding that he's that sort of guy. That this guy makes very clear the kind of woman he wants. So then how is it then my fault when you complain about my refusal to compromise? Let's say. Do you know what I mean? My manifesto is out there.
Your manifesto is unflinching. It's uncompromising.
I'm very clear
change.
about what I expect and what I want and what I offer.
Wow.
So if you then come and you're like, wait, but that's not fair. Are you a coward? I'm like, hey, it's up to you. So that's it.
Sometimes you manage to make me speechless, like right now.
Really? Well, let me make you even more speechless. How about you ask me who I would like to
I would
hang
love
out
to
with?
know who would love to hang.
Andrew Tate! Top
Why-
G!
Why did I even ask? Because if it wasn't Top G, it would be the other guy who died. What was his name? The black guy who died.
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuel. As in, you guys, I can picture you in hell sipping pina coladas.
Oh, that sounds like a plan. Yep, and I'm sure all the boy child warriors, when they die, shall gather in hell to sip from their pina coladas. But Andrew Tate,
Why Andrew Tate?
because his unmatched preciosity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes him a feared opponent in any
Speak
realm
English,
of human
please.
endeavor. I'm just reading one of his tweets here. It's just hilarious. No, but I think he's really cool. And he's... you see, it's one thing to be a person that sort of discusses issues that affect men, which he does, and there have been others. But I think for him, he adds a certain bit of legitimacy to the conversation in terms of his accomplishments, and especially he's a powerful motivator. So he's not like, oh, guys, the world doesn't care about you guys, so let's cry about it and just just be losers and just not care about the world. This guy actually is pushing you, like, don't be a fool, don't be a loser, get up, go and make money. You can make money, and if you're poor, that's your fault, no one else's fault. Look in the mirror, and if you don't like what you see, if you see a loser staring back at you, you're the problem, and if you don't deal with it, then he'll just...
No, I like that side of him. I think a few weeks ago I even shared something he said that resonated with me. So I like that side because today's people or generation, sometimes we like to feel sorry for ourselves a bit too much. For instance, you need to earn more money, but what are you doing about it? Are you learning a new skill? Because you're going to apply for that job and people will ask you, so which skills do you have? Which systems are you going to put in place? How are you going to help us make money? And you have no idea, you just have your degree. So I like that part of him pushing people beyond, out of their comfort zones.
Yeah, and of course, he will give commentary that some ladies may find unflattering or just
I don't like his commentary regarding women. Though sometimes, of course, I can see a few silver linings here and I'm like, okay, he has a point then and there.
I think it's his issue is not so much what he says, but just how he says it. As in, he's more unapologetic and he's less nuanced. So for me, I can try to be a bit more politically... as extreme as you might think I sound, I do try to sound
you do.
a bit more nuanced.
You try sometimes.
I do try to bring some balance.
You try sometimes, but the thing about, you see, if you're going to give advice, even if you want me to change, sometimes you need to read the room and say, do I really need to be this critical? Okay, you can be critical, but how? Sometimes when the world is beating someone down, in as much as you want them to get out of their comfort zone, sometimes you need to resonate with what they are going through then. For instance, if you invited me to watch you give a presentation and I hated it, when you come off the stage and you ask me, Olive, how was it? I'll be like, wow. I may not say you did well. I'll be like, oh, I'm glad to be here. There are so many people. This is quite a beautiful thing you guys are doing. And then later, because right now, what you don't need is someone to beat you down. Oh my goodness, you were pathetic. What you did was bad. But then after some time, I'll be like, dude, I listened to your presentation and probably next time, maybe change A, B, C, D.
Okay, so maybe that speaks to the difference between men and women, because men respond better to tough love than women do.
So you would like a person to come at you immediately after, let's say, your speech and tell you, Fatboy, you are pathetic.
You see, if someone came up to a woman and said, look at you, you're so fat and ugly and disgusting, how do you even live with yourself? Most women would be very hurt by such remarks.
As they should.
But you say that to a guy, he's like, damn, he's right. Yo.
It depends. Is that person your friend or a random stranger? Because even you with a thick skin, if a random person came and told you, dude, you lost so much weight, you look disgusting, you would be offended. But if it is,
really.
Let's say Dennis Asimwe, your friend, and he's like, man, you've put on so much weight, I don't recognize you, you'd be like, man, you're right. You see the difference?
But really, men handle it differently. Like, the whole culture of, have you watched those, like, military films in the States, like when they're in the training camps and then there's the drill sergeant who's like just shouting down these cadets and making them feel like they're trash. And, usually we see the hero going through all that and learning to be confident and to be better. And then at the end of the film, he's like the hero that saves the day and maybe even saves the sergeant. And
I guess,
you've seen those types of films.
But there is a reason why we are all not in the army.
But then that is how men are strengthened. Men are strengthened through direct criticism, hazing. Is that what they call that? When you sort of get in someone's face and shout them down and tell them to pull up their socks. But anyway, that is very motivating to men, and I feel like that's what Andrew Tate brings to the conversation about masculinity. Because many other people that I follow or whose content I consume will simply sort of explain the facts and lay out the facts and just leave it to you to decide how to decipher it and understand it.
If
which
it
is
works for men,
which I lean more towards because I'm more of a philosophical person. Now for him, I find myself like there will be times I'll watch his videos on a day when I'm feeling a bit, you can just be feeling lousy, right?
Yeah.
Having a bad day, and you just when you're at the cusp of feeling sorry for yourself, he'll remind you not to.
Okay, fine. Maybe it works for men, like you said. Must he be like that, even with the opposite gender? Because you've already said it works for men. Men thrive like that. So I'm not saying be sweet with women all the time, because we also need some bit of aggressiveness to, get out.
I'll share a link with you to a recent discussion he did. He was on a show with 4 other women. Him, Andrew Tate versus 4 women, and it got very interesting and entertaining. And of course,
when you say interesting and entertaining, I don't trust you.
I'm saying these women were tough. They were just laying out their issues. Some were trying to, and really, the ladies were all being very reasonable. And in my opinion, he treated them respectfully, and it was a respectful conversation. It got a bit heated, but they still understood the boundaries.
I need to watch that.
But I'll share that with you. And in case you're watching this on YouTube, I think the YouTube account is called, what's her name? She's called Just Pearly Things on YouTube. So just check out Just Pearly Things on YouTube. She recently uploaded that debate. But so that's the guy. If I had the chance to meet, I'd definitely love to meet and hang out with him.
Okay.
He's quite a character.
He is quite a character. But what's the source of all his money?
Now, that's something that is, even to me, is a bit of a mystery. Because the little I know is that he runs like an online training academy that I think he charges like $50 a month. Now, I don't know how many students he has enrolled, but that in itself could give him some money.
But have you seen his lifestyle? The cars,
the guy
house,
literally,
he
lives as though he's a billionaire.
I hope he doesn't let down the boy child, because it won't be too long. He's in America, right?
No, he lives in Romania.
He's Romanian.
No, he's actually half American, half British, but currently lives in Romania.
Because I was going to say it won't be so long until the IRS comes and says he's maybe involved in some sort of fraud. I don't wish that for him, but if it came,
you're right about that. I feel like his success story sounds a bit too good to be true.
Yeah, because no one knew him until he just happened out of the clear blue sky.
You see, because if it's Mark Zuckerberg with 30 sports cars.
His company is grossing $117 billion.
Yes. So if he's flaunting a mansion or all these cars, and has a private jet, you'd be like, okay, I can see how he makes his money.
We've watched him make his money.
Or a Donald Trump. You know how he makes his money. Or an Elon Musk.
Or Warren Buffett.
Buffett.
All those guys.
But this one, it's not so clear, I'll have to admit.
And that's why Kevin Samuels died, and we were among the allegations was, of course, it is said that he had a heart attack, and among the allegations as to what could have led to that is that he was in financial trouble. But the picture that we were seeing on YouTube was that this guy has money, he has achieved success, And it was a totally different thing.
You can be cash strained but still very wealthy. For example, Michael Jackson. I saw an interview of his doctor. His doctor was speaking to CNN some years ago, and he's like, actually, the dude he was penniless. Like, he had outstanding bills that he was not paying.
So
I think many of the workers, some on his property, on his estate, had not been paid. So cash wise, he was not very liquid.
Yes.
And at the time of his passing, he was in fact broke, as in he had no cash.
But he had assets.
But he had assets, exactly. He had like the entire catalog of music. I think he owns half of Sony's music, and
so
then all
his
of
kids
the
would
Beatles.
be catered to for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. So in the case of Kevin Samuels, I don't know. I am meant to understand that he didn't leave behind a lot of money. I don't know if this therefore means that he didn't have any other
assets. I think one day Fatboy and I will have a conversation about the need to have assets, but also to have cash. Because like here in Uganda, most people have assets. They buy land. But when you have an emergency that needs cash, then you don't have money, and sometimes you're going to have to sell your assets cheaply to get cash.
Yeah, so I think the dream of most people is to be strong in both areas.
It should be that
to have
way.
assets and to have cash.
True.
Especially cash.